For 5 years now, Africanews has been an independent and reliable media voice on the continent, and it does so by giving a voice to citizens and those who shape Africa, the less known as well as the more famous actors on the continent. Our guest today is well known for his fight for good governance in Africa for the last decade. His foundation rewards achievement in African leadership through a prize that's known worldwide. To talk about the African continent, its evolution and future, Dr. Mo Ibrahim is with us on Africanews. Hello, Dr. Ibrahim.
Hello, how are you?
Merci d'être avec nous.
Dr. Ibrahim, every 2 years your foundation publishes a global index on governments in Africa. The last report in 2020 was rather worrying. What's the situation today?
Of course, we have the problem of the pandemic now, which is threatening not only the health of our people, but also of our economic situation. And for the first time in over 25 years, we started to see a recession in Africa, while Africa was growing continuously over the last 25 years. Of course, this is COVID and the outcome of it, which is not only limited to Africa, but everywhere. But it's hitting us hard because we don't have the fiscal space which as other countries have, which enable them to borrow heavily to support their citizen and support their business. There's no such support for our business in Africa or for our people. We ask people to stay home and they cannot earn any money, unfortunately, while in Europe and elsewhere, people sit at home and receive their paychecks.
More generally, to what extent has the African continent, in your opinion, improved or regressed over the past 5 years?
Well, actually, it's a mixed picture for Africa, unfortunately. Over the last few years, we have seen deterioration in citizen rights, participation, and in democracy. That is really unfortunate. And that trend has been enforced during COVID because, unfortunately, some leaders also use restrictive measures around the health crisis to pass on more repressive laws. And we can see people banning political opponents from public gatherings while they are holding their own political rallies, etc. So it has been a clampdown, really also because of COVID. Unfortunately, has been misused in some cases. On the other hand, there's some bright spots. I mean, we see that there is development in the area of infrastructure and human development in general. It is still moving forward. But we are concerned about the rule of law and transparency and citizens' rights in general, which has been deteriorating, unfortunately.
Is governance limited to the respect of democracy, law, and transparency?
Democracy and rule of law are very important. We really need to pay a lot of attention to them. But this is not the whole story. It's not, people cannot eat democracy. I mean, if we have democracy, but there's no food in the table or we have famine, then what we're going to do is democracy. We cannot eat democracy. It is important to create jobs. It's important to improve education and to health, economic development. People need to have clean water. People need to have access to power and energy. So it is really, governance is a basket of public goods. And it's about economy, about human development, but also about rule of law and about democracy. And we need to see progress in all of this. There's no trade-off.
Several African countries are currently experiencing extremely complex situations, Chad, Somalia, Ethiopia, to name a few. Some African leaders are clinging to power, conflicts are sprouting. There's also the impact of the pandemic as well as the migration issue. Faced with these parameters, what do you think the future holds for Africa in the next 5 years?
Each crisis has a silver lining. It enables us to reset. We need to reset now and to think again how we're going to move on from here. And that's important, to review our path of development. Is it the right path? Do we have reasonable self-sufficiency? When there's interruption to the trade routes, what that did to us, suddenly we had problems. But we needed to really build back a more resilient economy, and also, I hope, a more green economy. And one big challenge also have is our young people. Majority of our populations are young. We need to pay attention to our young people. We don't want to lose more people in the Sahara or in the Mediterranean. We need to create jobs. We need to improve education, and that should be education for employment. We need to develop skills. We need to more technical schools, because that is education for employment. People can find work with it. It's important to listen to young people, because the future belongs to them, not to us old men. I mean, the problem in Africa, we have a lot of old men running the continent, and this is not really helpful. We need to move on from that and build a more progressive, more young, more active governments, which are really focusing on development of both our human resources and our natural resources in harmony. And we need peace. We need peace in Africa, because conflicts destroys development and our chance for moving forward.
Africanews is celebrating its 5th anniversary. It's a pan-African channel that provides access to independent and reliable information, giving voice to Africans now more crucial than ever for the continent.
Well, we say happy birthday and congratulations. We need more and more independent media outlets, because it's very important. Is this time and age when there is so many megaphones out there, to have really reliable and decent platforms. We need the truth, we need the facts, and we really hope.
Dr. Ibrahim, thank you for being our guest today on Africanews.
À très bientôt.
Thank you very much, and best wishes.